Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. This is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. Hi, my name's Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and Advertisers Watching Ads is brought to you this week by Contagious.com. So please go and check those guys out after the show. And thanks, guys, for sharing all of the possible ads this week. But before we get to this week's ad, let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kat Chappell. I'm head of Biddables at Mediahub.
And hi, everybody. I'm Paddy, head of media at MPB. We're an online marketplace of buying and selling photography equipment.
Fantastic. So this week's ad is from McDonald's Sweden, and they collaborated with agency NORD DDB as part of its broader sustainability campaigns, hot on the heels of their Muck Hive Bee Hotels work and getting rid of balloons and other such goodness. So let's see the ad.
This whale is supposed to make you sleep. But you don't feel sleepy. You feel hungry. That's because the whale is your stomach, trying to tell you that McDonald's is open all night. Silence your night whale at your local McDonald's. Shh. It's gonna be all right, my little friend. I'll get you a Big Mac.
Okay, we're going to give this creative a vote out of 5. 3, 2, 1.
3.
Right.
A 3 and a 3. Right, yeah. There we have it. McDonald's, whale ads. What's going on?
I think they're trying to be too clever. They've tried to join creativity, well-known kind of sounds, and it's interesting, but does it land? I really struggle with it. And if I heard it and wasn't doing this, would I know it's McDonald's? Probably not. Would I care? Probably not.
I have to confess, I haven't spent enough time with the McDonald's advertising in Sweden to know whether that is consistent with the brand over there. So maybe I'm missing something. I'm lying in bed, or I'm lying on the sofa, and I'm feeling a bit hungry. I'm not sure. It might soothe me to sleep. I'm not sure whether it would make me rush out to go and buy a burger, but.
Yeah, I think obviously they're trying to target nighttime workers and people who are up at that time. But when you start saying this is supposed to make you sleepy, you actually think, it could make me sleepy. So it's going against what they're saying it's not going to do. So I just don't know whether it's the right tone for audiences that are potentially working at night and are hungry to really sort of drive whale sounds and empty stomachs.
It didn't feel like, it was a very, there wasn't much of a sort of strong call to action in there, but there's a bit of humor, so I'm going to give a bit of credit for that. One thing I was trying to research, I couldn't find the background, and maybe somebody who is closer to this campaign will tell us, is whether the sounds in fact are actual whale sounds or the sounds of someone's stomach.
Is this targeted at people who are working through the night, in which case whale sounds are of no interest because the whale sound is meant to get you to sleep, whereas if the idea that you're at home and you're trying to get to sleep and you're hungry, so therefore you should get up and go to McDonald's. Which one is it?
It could be both. I mean, the latter, what is the likelihood that you're going to have your radio on late at night if you're trying to get to sleep? Positioning wise, I probably wouldn't say that it's that. I would say it's probably targeting those that are already awake and working and thinking about food. But the reason that it is confusing is there's no cut through. So using whales, you would think is a nice soothing, and it is putting people in that bed mindset rather than hunger mindset.
I made this sort of the opposite assumption, that it was more, you can't sleep, you're hungry, you shouldn't go to bed on an empty stomach. So therefore, McDonald's is open, get out, order a Big Mac. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it would be the right sort of ad to serve to someone who's sort of out and about during that time.
They did a campaign as well where it was looking through a glass at the end of the night. And that made sense because it associated with going to McDonald's after a night out. Is the message here, go to McDonald's if you're hungry, no matter what time of the night? Or is it McDonald's is open no matter what time of the night if you are looking for food? And so I think that mixed messaging means that actually what it's trying to portray is also quite mixed.
Paddy, what about you in terms of radio? Why have they chosen audio here?
Maybe it's sort of in that middle of the night, sort of, everything's a bit dreamy and a bit surreal, and maybe it sort of fits into that a little bit more. I couldn't really find any sort of digital footprint sort of behind the ads. There was nothing kind of, see holding it together, holding a Night Well NFT, which seemed quite apt for kind of, maybe that's the next iteration of this campaign.
Well, what would have made this better?
I mean, you could go with kind of probably not your traditional story arc, branding up front, no ideas that it's McDonald's. Does that add to it? Yes, because it probably adds a little bit of intriguement. I have to say radio ads are not my speciality, but I do think that they have gone for a clever thematic in using sounds, which we know have got this kind of calming effect. They've associated it with a David Attenborough type-esque voice, which will grab some people's attention, whether that's at 3:00 in the morning or not, I don't know. Does it do the job? I don't think it does. I don't think there's talkability about it. I don't think that there's any footprint that can leverage this into a bigger campaign.
If I put myself into the shoes of the McDonald's marketing director in Sweden, I suppose, it's a brand that has a bit of license to experiment and actually, can afford to have a bit more creative license to kind of pull the brand into kind of more humorous territory. It's not.
I wouldn't say it's humorous though. So I think that's where it's going to be really hard to land, I think.
That's really harsh, Kat.
No, but I wouldn't say
funny whale sounds and tummy rumbling. I
think the sounds are a bit concerning in part.
Yeah, there was a part of me that thought maybe instead of ordering McDonald's, maybe phone your GP. Look at appointment.
I think it's interpretation, isn't it? Like, if you had those sounds, would you be comfortable with going to a McDonald's, or would you be seeking medical advice or medication, I suppose?
I think I'm probably adding an extra mark just because I just like listening to the Swedish accent so much.
It is really calming.
Yeah. Until
you realise that it's stomach noises, not whales.
All right, guys. Paddy, thank you so much for your time.